Hello, welcome to the channel. This is J&J Says. I wanted to talk today about the Galaxy Note 7. The announcement was today in New York. I had super high expectations of the Note, well, especially the Note line. I have used the iPhone. This is the iPhone 6. I've used the iPhone 5, iPhone 6. I used to be an Android user. I moved away from it because I was invested in iTunes, but at the same time I wanted to try something different. So from Android, I moved to iOS, used iPhone 5, iPhone 6, and I think I'm interested in getting a change. So when I was thinking about, okay, I've had this phone for about 2 years, I'd like to get a new phone, and I know the Galaxy Note is coming out. The Galaxy S7, the S7 Edge is a phenomenal phone. It looks amazing, feels amazing, looks amazing, and makes me want to move back to Android. And I looked at the OnePlus 3, the HTC 10. I was in Taiwan a month ago, and HTC 10 was advertised quite a lot, so I checked it out. Pretty cool phone. Now, today, August 2nd, was the announcement of the Galaxy Note 7. So when you have, let's see, the Galaxy S7 was announced, was launched in, I believe, spring, and now we're towards the middle of summer, and it's been a couple of months. And so for the Note, I'm expecting something better. So a quick rundown of what the Note 7 has. So the Galaxy Note 7 has a 5.7-inch WQHD display, which just means it has 1440 by 2560 pixels, which is actually the same as the Galaxy S7. It has 12 megapixel camera, has 4 gigabytes of RAM, it has a Snapdragon 820 processor with Adreno 530, I believe, is the GPU, which is built into the Snapdragon processor, and has a 3500 milliamp hour battery. So when I heard these specs, they didn't even talk about these, like the details of the specs in the announcement. But when I find out the specs, you just realize this is the Galaxy S7, the S7 Edge, and it's what I was super hyped up about getting this phone. So the Note 7, I mean, and I watched the announcement. I was a little disappointed, to be honest. I think for the tech enthusiast and people who who just love technology in general and actually like to get into the details of it, we'll find out that I'm sure people were disappointed. It might be a great phone, it might work snappy, but when you get a Galaxy phone, you expect the highest, the best parts, chips, graphics, display, I mean the best of the best. And when you know the OnePlus 3 has 6 gigabytes of RAM, you kind of expect that, well, you hope that even, this phone would have 6 gigabytes of RAM just because they make the 6 gigabytes RAM. They announced it. They showcased it in, I think, Singapore a couple of months ago. So the assumption was maybe this will have the 6 gigabytes of RAM. So coming back to today, I saw the Note 7. I love the Onyx Black. Pretty sure I was going to get it. And talked to a coworker. He was pretty sure he's not going to get it. He was disappointed too. He's a super tech junkie. But I was pretty sure I was going to get it. So I thought about it a little bit today, and I realized I'm not going to get this phone. This is what it feels like. It's a little disappointing, and I was disappointed all day. And basically, it's a repackaged S7 with a pen. I know some people have probably said this already, but it is really an S7 Edge with a pen. It's the same display, smaller battery. I think the S7 Edge has a 3600 milliamp hour battery. But you can't help but feel that it's a little disappointing. Like, what did they put the money into for this big event they made? Just one event for one phone. And, well, they have USB Type-C, which is, oh, that's nice, but I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for yet. I mean, the Gear VR is cool, but what else? And it feels, I don't want to say lazy. I mean, I'm sure they designed it nicely. The first phone to use Gorilla Glass 5, but it's the same internals, except, for the battery and I guess the the pen, it's the same internals as the S7 Edge, and it's a little disappointing because I'd expect, previous notes had at least a better RAM, more RAM, or something a little bit different that made it different from the standard S7, or Galaxy S line. So with that in mind, I decided I'm not going to get the Note 7. I am going to wait for the S8. And if somebody asked me, I know my coworker asked me, what should I get? This is kind of, the leaks are true. This sucks. The leaks are true. This really sucks. I wish the leaks were kind of just leaks and, there would be a surprise. There was no surprise. For me and him, I guess he said, the water's nice and we might go swimming with it. But for me, I don't really see myself jumping in the pool with it. And iris scanner is nice, but for me, fast fingerprint sensing and a nice display, which obviously Samsung has a great display, but there's nothing to stand out. So he asked me, so we discussed this, we talked about it. In the end, I think of this now and I still agree with it. And even though I was going to get the Note because I was really curious about I really like the S Pen. But when you think about it, it's the same thing as the S7 Edge. It's the same package. And I feel, so I told him, get the S7 Edge, save some money, get the same phone except without the pen. There's no purpose because he doesn't care about the pen. He doesn't really care about Gear VR. So S7 Edge is the way to go. And at some level, I do. If he really cares about the rooting the phone or getting more out of the phone, and he's ready for a new phone. So I also suggested look at the OnePlus 3. So the two phones I would suggest, even looking at the Note, I waited for this event to decide on what I should get, and I was pretty sure I was going to get the Note. I was hoping that Samsung would really be the top dog in this. And so I told him get this S7 Edge, but I am still leaning for him to go towards the OnePlus 3. So that's what I suggest him. And for me, I'm going to wait for the S8. S8 Edge, actually. Well, it depends. Let's see what it comes out with. But if you really care about the specs and don't mind to wait, I'm that person who doesn't like to wait. But for this, I was a little disappointed and thought about it today, and I've decided I'm going to wait for the Galaxy S8 or S8 Edge because the assumption is they should have the Snapdragon 821 or 823 processor by then. It's a better processor, just wait for it, and get the 6 gigabytes of RAM that Samsung has made. They showcased, and if the Note had 6 gigabytes RAM or had the new Snapdragon chip, just like Asus is going to put in their phones anyway, the Snapdragon, I think was it Xiaomi or another company is going to have the 6 gigabytes of RAM also. So for me, I'm not sure how most people feel or how you feel. I would wait for the Galaxy S8 or the S8 Edge, depending on which one it looks nice for me, which is still subjective. But internally, it should have better specs. There's no way they'll keep the specs. So at least have the better Snapdragon processor, have USB Type-C if people really still want that, and hopefully, maybe there'll be a new Gear VR, maybe a better display. They've had this Quad HD for a bit. Maybe they'll up it, maybe 1800, maybe 4K. This is something I'm sure they can do with the Super AMOLED display. They've been researching, they've been doing this, they're good at this, and I think it can only get better. So better chip, better RAM, better display. Maybe the camera will be just that much better. It's a great camera, but maybe it'll be better. And finally, I can upgrade from my iPhone from iOS to Android, which I really do want to get back into Android. And the only compelling reason for someone to get the Note, I believe, is if they can't wait, is the S Pen and the display. It's a really great display. They said they include HDR, but will I really feel it? Will I really think about it? It's a little iffy. It's like TVs. You have HDR, you have non-HDR. It's something you stop thinking about after you watch it for a bit. It's just nice to have. So with that in mind, I just wanted to share my thoughts, and if you have any questions or you have any thought, I would love to hear from you. So share with me. This is a video I'd like to do more often, and just my thoughts and how everyone thinks, and just to help everyone to get a better decision and to make better better decisions and make better purchasing decisions. I mean, we're all purchasing phones and devices, and it's kind of nice to be able to share back and forth. So thank you for watching, and I hope I helped share my thoughts, and hopefully you agree with me if you don't agree with me, but it's good to talk. Thanks for watching. Bye.